Occasionally, I mean all day, every day. That's right, the network that brought you such groundbreaking shows as Teen Mom, Take My Mom, and Yo Mama started out as a music station. In fact, that might even be what the M stands for, or it could just be Mama. The popularity of MTV in the 80s and 90s made the music video into a powerful promotional tool. The right video could bring about the kind of exposure that would catapult a band to the big time. So it was considered to be well worth investing in expertise and production values. In America, the big stars of MTV would appear in 4-minute movies with $1 million budgets. It was a contagious video fever, and seemingly everybody was paying top whack for a Technicolor shot at becoming an all-singing, occasionally dancing TV star. By the time I got my chance in front of the camera, the golden age of the music video was already coming to an end. For the uninitiated among you, I should point out at this point that my first entry into the world of the music business was as the singer in a band called Easy World. Don't look us up, it's not worth your time. Yeah, whatever. The first couple of songs I played then, if you don't know them, that was some moments from our illustrious back catalogue. So we were signed to a record label called Jive Records. This is the same record label that brought you Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Justin Timberlake, and Steps, like Seal. And they also brought you the work of my band. And I think for them, it was bizarrely, they thought that by signing Easy World, it would make them more credible. And I think our management thought that by signing us to Jive Records, it would make us more pop. And in the end, it just didn't work out for anyone. But it was an interesting little ride. And so this is how we used to get our videos chosen. Okay, a track is chosen from the completed album to be the new single. The assembled promotional team at the record label evaluates the commercial potential of the single and agrees upon a reasonable budget for the production of a promo video. The video department at the label sends the track to a number of renowned and promising video directors, along with details of the artist and, more importantly, the budget. The director listens to the track and visualizes a filmic accompaniment to the music and writes an elaborate description of their vision. This elaborate description is thereafter known as a treatment. The video department gathers all the treatments, destroys the unacceptable ones, and presents the remainder to the artist for perusal. The artist reads the treatments are all bloody awful. Most of the big ideas pitched for Easy World videos would consist of the band playing live in a strange and interesting location. Most of the locations would be like a dusty old house or something, with shafts of light beaming through dusty old windows onto dusty old floorboards. But wait, because there's always a twist. The band wears army gear or something. And they were all like that, inspired. And I found myself thinking, is this really the extent of the creativity offered by the creative sector? And for a long time I presumed that the talent pool was just incredibly shallow. For a long time I thought the video directors simply had no imagination. It took me a while to understand why I kept reading so many boring video treatments. There was no lack of talent or creativity among filmmakers. These directors had some wonderful ideas. They just weren't going to waste them on a bunch of nobodies whose label only deemed them worthy of a tiny video budget. Those chumps get the dusty old house treatment off the big pile of dusty old house treatments. The good stuff gets saved for when Radiohead need a video. So we never had the best videos. Still, by the time we'd made the third, Jive Records had already spent more money on low-budget video production than they had on recording the damn album in the first place. This is because even cheap videos are horribly expensive when you have to deal with the film cartel. Our most modest shoots would require astonishing numbers of production crew. It was a wild swarm of activity, a blur of light meters, clapperboards, and fluorescent duct tape. We were at the very bottom of the professional video budget range, but it was still a struggle to get anything shot for under £10,000 a day. Now I don't know about you, but I still think 10 grand is quite a lot of money, especially to purchase a no-frills entry-level product that never really stood a fighting chance of effective TV exposure. It was the catch-22 situation. A great video could spawn a hit record, but if you had the kind of money needed to make a competitive video, you were clearly a big enough hitter to mount a full-range media assault and not have to pin all your hopes on a decent video. In fact, I'm not sure anybody in the MTV age was ever made into a big video star without the full weight of a hefty marketing steamroller behind the whole project. The rest of us, well, we were just deluded small-timers greasing the wheels, giving an easy day's employment to the gaffers, grips, and focus pullers of old London town. But by the time the second Easy World album came out, it had been decided that in order to make the band a success, the stakes would have to be raised, and our primary weapon for the new ground offensive was to be the promotional video. Despite a steady decline in the amount of TV airtime available for music videos, a 5-fold increase in our video budget was decreed. So the next batch of Easy World videos certainly looked better than the last, but they probably achieved less. It wasn't exactly Thriller. Poor old Jive Records continued to play the old game with naive desperation and blinkered inflexibility. If it didn't work last time, they should do the same damn thing time and time again in hopes that it would. It was like music promotion in the trenches of the Great War. Every few months they'd send another 50,000 over the top into the mysterious muddy no man's land of film, never to return. I came to regard making videos as an enjoyable day out, but as a completely fruitless venture. By the autumn of 2004, the final Easy World video had failed to connect with the great British public, and the band split up with its running total of film expenses topping the £250,000 mark. We now fast forward. It's 9 months later, and a group of men and women are sat around a table high up in a tall, shiny building in New York City. It's a marketing meeting at a very major record label, and the boss is not happy. He's in a mood for kicking some ass, as only powerful American executive types really can. He punches a button on a remote control and a large TV screen mounted on the wall behind him comes to life. Colourful images of glamorous locations and shapely thighs, some bountiful cleavage and flashy jewellery appear on the screen to the sound of programmed beats, breathy verse and warbling chorus. Synth bass, some string sounds, auto-tune, the usual pop production nightmare. This is where I have to do the accent. I only really have one American accent, and it's a gay New Yorker, which is not that appropriate for this situation. So I'm going to try and do the butch gruff American boss. Okay, the boss. This is the new video for one of our major artists, says the angry man. There are some more legs and a pair of full, glossy, pouty lips, a shiny and expensive car. It cost $500,000. More big hair, another thigh, the twinkle of diamonds, the gentle curvature of a feminine buttock. The angry man hits the pause button with a flourish, and the film stops. A pair of immaculately tanned and toned thighs fill the screen. This is the biggest pile of fucking horseshit I've ever seen! What the fuck are we doing? $500,000 fucking dollars here out of your fucking minds? Does nobody have an original idea in their fucking head? You need $500,000 fucking bucks to shoot a fucking tits and ass movie? Does this fucking piece of shit represent the creativity of this company? If this is the best we can do, then we are fucked! Silence. Some awkward shifting in seats. Okay now, I want you to watch this, he says, leaning forward on the table, jabbing an index finger into its shiny surface to underline his emphasis. This is creativity. This is what I'm fucking talking about. Some fucking kid made this video for $3 fucking bucks, and it's better than what we can do with $500,000 fucking dollars. He aims the remote control over his shoulder and pokes it towards the TV screen. The image of bronze-legged perfection vanishes, the screen goes blank, then slowly fades up on the grainy black and white image of a typically grubby A figure appears. It's me. I walk across the street, through a white door and into a house, down 3 flights of stairs to a basement filled with musical instruments where I spend the next 7 minutes or so playing my song State of the Union in one continuous camera shot. Now, when an eyewitness recounted to me the story of this disastrous meeting, I smiled a smile of sweet satisfaction. Not so much because of the recognition that I had received, but because that weird little piece of film made for no particular purpose had for a brief moment become the central reference material in the staged ambush and humiliation of an entire marketing ethos. Whatever I may or may not achieve in my life, I will always be quite proud of that. Of course, the angry man was fired within a year, while the commissioners of the expensive glitzy video would go on to commission many, many more expensive glitzy videos, confirming that in truth, I never represented any kind of future model for creativity at the major labels. I was instead the soundtrack to the last sputterings of a doomed resistance. But something was happening though. And by the summer of 2005, the word was out, and I surprisingly found myself the subject of a very modest but palpable worldwide music industry buzz. Even more surprisingly, this buzz had been generated predominantly by a music video. The State of the Union video shoot had lasted 10 minutes, had a crew of one, was lit by table lamps, and had cost nothing. It captured a slightly embellished version of my usual live performance of the song. The film was shot on a budget camcorder operated by The Cock. Now, The Cock is a character who appears often in this book. He's one of my very best friends from back home. We call him The Cock, not for any genital reasons whatsoever. It's simply a shortening of the common English surname Woodcock, which isn't his name, but you know, how do people get nicknames anyway? So he's The Cock. The film was shot on a budget camcorder operated by The Cock. No cuts, no edits, no big deal. We thought it was pretty good, cute but hardly career-defining, but what the hell did we know? On an afternoon in April, The Cock and I accidentally achieved what a legion of industry professionals armed with expertise, equipment, experience, and thousands of pounds worth of record company investment had failed to achieve. We made a video that actually made a contribution to the cause. It connected with people, opened doors I never knew existed, and presented before me a path that would ultimately lead around the world. But best of all, a big, angry man across an ocean had used it to bloody some noses in the ugly scrap between art and commerce. All in all, a pretty good 10 minutes work. And it went something like